What is good, crowdy people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam, popping some Molly and hitting our girl Iggy's cheeks post Cardi's son's birth from the back raw, so you know her skin and womb liquid is flying everywhere. Nah, but in all seriousness, Lil Uzi Vert tweeted some more valuable information last night for the fans regarding his upcoming music, and more specifically his relationship with Maaly Raw, the producer he made smash hits with such as Money Longer, Do What I Want, and the list goes on. But afterwards I was a bit skeptical and researched more on their relationship throughout the years, and things may be different than what they seemed. So in today's video, not only will we be going over the update in their so-called beef, but also the history of their altercations and why it may have all occurred. But before we get into all the beef, Bob Gang featured comment of the video is from Young Nelson, who's also an OG Discord member, I might add, who said Lotus has the numbers 16-6 in the vid, talking about the lyric video that dropped yesterday or the day before, June 16th album. Actually, someone brought that up to me on Twitter, so I tweeted about it to gauge how people were feeling about the theory, but quickly realized that June 16th is a Tuesday, so likely won't be a release date for the upcoming Uzi album. Not sure what 16-6 in that video means though. It could mean something significant. By the way, go follow my Twitter for everything I think about during the day before I make videos on it. Oh, and I got a whole lot of Bob announcement at the end, so make sure to watch until then. But back to the topic, Lil Uzi Vert and Maaly Raw beef explained. Let's talk about it. Okay, so to kick things off, I'll start with the most recent updates that occurred last night on Twitter, with Uzi responding to fans in order to build some context before delving into how the beef all started supposedly later. Essentially, a couple days ago, Uzi began teasing his next project, most likely releasing in 2020, for reasons I've discussed in multiple previous videos, but primarily due to him treating 2020 like 2016. Therefore, he still has one project left to fulfill the 3-project requirement in 1 year, as he also did in 2016. In relation to this project, fans were giving Uzi requests on Twitter like, on this album please work with different producers besides working on Dying, bring back Don Cannon and DJ Plug, referring to the old Uzi that we talked about in my last video, wherein he rapped over more up-tempo happy beats rather than on Eternal Take, where much of it was darker space demonic samples and whatnot. Don't quote me on that because I'm no music theorist and don't claim to be one. But anyway, Uzi responds to this request saying Plug on the new one, obviously ignoring the Don Cannon request, with whom he used to work with all throughout his come up on countless tracks within his Love Is Rage project all the way through Love Is Rage 2. I have a video on Uzi's beef with Don Cannon, but the most recent scuffle that has transpired between the two centered around Uzi's most recent release, Sasuke, wherein Don Cannon blatantly dissed Uzi, calling it a bad song on Twitter. But we're not here to talk about Don Cannon today, so moving on, another fan requests Uzi to put Cannon and Molly on it too, please, to which Uzi responds with just a laughing emoji. We don't need to reiterate his issues with Don Cannon, but why did he have to bring Maaly Raw into the slight diss publicly? One thought is that he was only laughing at Don Cannon, but given his history with Maaly Raw, Uzi may have done it to both intentionally. By the way, Uzi has since deleted this last tweet with Maaly Raw. As I briefly mentioned earlier, the new Twitter updates by Uzi last night would not be the first time Uzi and Maaly Raw have had issues, in that even recently they have interacted in a not so positive manner when Maaly Raw commented on Cardi's latest solo release at me tweeting new Cardi slap, to which Uzi laughed at him once again. Now obviously they could have just been joking, especially because Cardi and Uzi's beef wasn't all that real either, although according to Uzi apparently they threw hands to settle things, but that's for another video. In addition to the fact that he was laughing at a comment about Cardi, not necessarily making fun of Maaly Raw at all. So in order to further contextualize things, we'll need to time travel all the way back pre-Futsal Shuffle around Thanksgiving time in 2019 of last year. I know it's hard to even remember that far, let alone which hardcore moose bestiality video we watched this morning, but essentially in the midst of Uzi's massive Twitter rampage that instigated the beginning of the Eternal Take rollout, but more importantly his beef with Playboy Cardi, he also mentioned a few things about Maaly Raw that didn't sit well with fans, in that after the tweets I'm about to share with you, we believed Maaly ran off with $20,000 that Uzi made from a show supposedly. So how it all began was Uzi, in response to fans asking, yo Uzi, can we get some Maaly Uzi and some Cannon Uzi on Eternal Take, said Maaly Raw a snake too, he tried to run off with 20k back in the G, wonder what that turned into. Now there is no confirmation as to if this is true, because honestly it could be all a misunderstanding. Both Uzi Uzi and Maaly Raw made hella bread on their hits together, so 20k is probably worth less than a shat on baby wipe to them. In the same Twitter thread though, a fan replied to the original request to Uzi saying he straight just dissed him though, referring to a recent Uzi leak that year called 1600 wherein the lyrics stated, "This a Oogie man of course, no this not a Maaly Raw, no way." Uzi finished off sharing his thoughts about Maaly Raw but shortly deleted them afterwards, so I don't have the direct tweet handy with a screenshot, but it said something along the lines of, "I never said you wasn't good with beats, hot, you just be running off on the plug," in response to Maaly Raw rebuttaling Uzi's first tweet calling him a snake. Other theories that circulated the Uzi community claimed that Maaly sold a guitar sample beat to another rapper that Uzi was planning on using for Eternal Take or another album, which could possibly relate to a leak in some way wherein hypothetically Maaly Raw sold the beat with an Uzi feature on it for 20k and kept Uzi's proceeds without telling him, but your guess is as good as mine. Likely their problems stem from two superstar egos mixed with miscommunication, similar to what Cardi and Uzi went through though. After Uzi's sabbatical, Maaly Raw aired his thoughts on the situation to attempt to clear his name, tweeting, "I really hope EA is fire, telling lies for promo, SMH, so that better be the best album ever. I love y'all too, I'm sorry to all the fans, but nah, I've never been no nut snake in life, especially not to a dude I once called my brother. Ain't about to put me in some bullshit and use my name just for promo, that's nutty." In my opinion, Maaly kept it real respectful towards Uzi, being the mature one between the two. Even though we love Uzi, we also know he tends to be a little hot-headed and, to be honest, has had problems with many people around him, and it's not looking like they're having issues with each other, just with Uzi specifically, such as DJ Drama, Don Cannon, Maaly Raw, Cardi. But then again, he may just be the most vocal about all the issues. Nothing's confirmed though, just my 2 cents. But anyway, Maaly finishes his response to Uzi by answering fans asking him, "Would you collab with Uzi again?" To which he says, "If he man up, call me and apologize, I would. Without that, ain't no more collabs popping off." So it looks like there is still hope for the duo to make hits again in the future, especially because Uzi can just call him up and fight it out to settle their differences like he normally does. Maybe they can just put 20k on the line for whoever wins the fight like some real G's. In fact, it already looks like Uzi and Maaly Raw have settled their beef, at least partially, to the point where nobody is claiming the other is a snake anymore, and that Maaly's alleged cousin, and of course that part may not be true, but the video looks pretty convincing, DM'd him since their Twitter beef back in late 2019 asking, "You and Uzi still have beef? You two were Shaq and Kobe," to which Maaly Raw replies, "Nah, no beef bro," obviously countering any allegation that the two are still at the same state in their relationship as they were back in 2019 Thanksgiving. Additionally, a fan noticed that Maaly Raw liked a fan's reply in one of Uzi's threads on Twitter saying Uzi and Maaly are cool, further confirming the notion that the rapper and producer aren't beefing anymore. However, with all that being said, just because they aren't beefing currently does not mean for a minute that they are on speaking terms or working on any music together. I mean, we already saw Uzi yesterday laughing at Maaly's name in the fans' tweet, so there still could be some bad blood. On the other hand though, Uzi or Baby Pluto or Big Homie with the Mac in his left pocket touching his nut because he has a skin condition or whatever you want to call him also likes to troll people online. So for all we know, they could have a whole tape coming. Highly unlikely, but you get the point. But furthermore, from the looks of his last tweet laughing at Maaly Raw and Don Cannon, we definitely cannot expect one of his most highly anticipated snippets, Mission to the Loot, to release officially, at least anytime soon, given it's a Maaly Raw beat. In a more broad sense though, it's very sad to see the two part ways in music after bringing us such hits like Left Right, Four of Us, Do What I Want, Canadian Goose, High Roller, Money Longer, Of Course We Ghetto Flowers, 444 plus 222, Early 20 Rager, Unfazed, Dark Queen, and many more. Especially because, as we all know, production is virtually half of the song and acts as the foundation of hip-hop, in the sense that if you like a certain song, it's most likely due to the direction of the beat. Whether or not you like the vocals on it or not, the artist typically is influenced by the beat first and how they start rapping on it. This is why when you like a certain song, you tend to like other songs by the same producer rather than the artist, whether you realize it or not, because the beat style carries the whole vibe. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam signing off, copyright claiming Lil Uzi Vert's Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World covers because he stole my artwork from Bob vs. the World, aka Flag. Link in the description if you haven't heard it yet on the Whole Lotta Bob channel. It's on all platforms too, but let me know in the comments if you think Uzi and Maaly Raw are still beefing. Make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest Uzi, Cardi, and hip-hop news, as well as to follow me on all my socials in the description if you with it. Peace out, Cardi people. Know what I'm saying?